This is Andrew from Thinking Outside the Blog, and this is going to be episode 6. So this is the first episode I'm doing that is outside of the 5 frameworks. So if you haven't listened to the 5 frameworks or the 5 foundational episodes, which every single episode now is going to be based off of one of those 5 frameworks or 5 introductions, please go back and listen to them, which you can find on thinkingoutsidetheblog.com or on youtube.com/thinkingoutsidetheblog. But today I am going to focus on a question that actually I was asked by a few people, and that was to do with images. I had my images on my PowerPoint presentation, and people were saying, how did you get those images, and really, can we use images similar to those without getting in trouble? So what I'm going to show you today, under 10 minutes as always, is how 3 places you can go to on where you can get images that are copyright free and you won't get in trouble. So the first site I go to, if you can see on my computer or Escobar, you can go to is a place called Unsplash. So if I go to unsplash.com, and what's good about Unsplash is you get the high quality images. So you can see the high quality images here. And these are the images that's very good for obviously your social media. And also if you've got a blog post or on your website, that's something that's similar to this. These are the ones that you can use. If you go to the most basic way, typically you type in something in search. So if I typed in, I don't know, let's say blogging, and then you can see, obviously, there's some pictures here that you can use. If you typed or click on here and go to blog, you're going to see a whole bunch of other pictures that you can use as well. Obviously, looking at these, some of these are not actually relevant to blogging, but it's probably on somebody's blog. But again, you can just type in blogging, social media, content marketing, whatever you may be, if you're in that space. Or if you're in another space, let's say if you're into tennis, and you can see here. Now if you wanted to use the pictures, you can just go to plus here, and you can log in via Facebook. That's one way. Or you can just click on the picture here and just go download, and then as you can see, it's just downloading to my computer. Now when it comes to giving rights, it's just some statistics on it. You actually don't have to give rights to the person. You don't actually have to say it is from this person. I tend to. So if I got it from this guy because it's a nice picture, I like it, I'll just put on the bottom of, let's say, on my website, picture from or image from, and then Josh Calabrese, if that's how you say his name. If it's not, I apologize. So that's how I would use Unsplash, and it's a really good resource. Another resource I use is called Pixabay. Now this is probably the one I go to the most actually, because you can use stock images, you can use a number of different types of images, and it says here all images and videos on Pixabay are released free of copyrights under Creative Commons CC0. Again, if I typed in blogging, and you can see, obviously it's got some of those, but then you can see some of the images, you can see some cartoon type pictures, just random pictures. This is a good one because it's got a nice white background. So a lot of my stuff that I use on, let's say, PowerPoint, I always make sure it has a nice white background. But let's say if I wanted to use this one, again, you click here to get the picture, just go free download. As you can see, free for commercial use, no attribution required. Sometimes I would say sourced by or image by, and then I'll just say Pixabay. Or if it's a person on Pixabay, say here, I'll just say their name. So that's another way, another thing you can do. The last thing you can do is, if you go to Google, so if I just go to google.co.uk and I typed in tennis, let's say, and typically you go to here, images, and you'll see the pictures, but you can't use these images because, let's say if you used here, the BBC could come after you to say you didn't have the rights to use those images, or any of these companies could potentially. However, if you go to tools, and under tools there's an option that says usage rights. If you click usage rights, and if you said labeled for reuse or labeled for non-commercial reuse or labeled for reuse with modification, here is basically saying that these are some of the ones that you can use on your website or on social media. So as you can see here, Pixabay comes up, Wikipedia comes up, Pexels, that's another good site to use. And then you've got commons.wikipedia. Flickr will probably be here somewhere, because that comes up quite a lot on some of the Flickr stuff. Now what you want to do, like say with Commons, Wikimedia or Flickr and places like that, you might have to give, you can use them, but you might have to give, here goes a Flickr one. If I click on this one and I said view visit page, you might have to give credit. So it will say some rights reserved, and it tells you what you can and can't do. So under the following, you must give appropriate credit to do that. So that's 3 ways to do it. So again, the first I use Unsplash, then I might use Pixabay, and then I'll quickly show you again. If you just go to clear, this is what it will typically look like. If you type in tennis, you just go tools, usage rights, labeled for reuse, and then you get the pictures there. Now, like I said, there's loads of other things. What you can also do, if you go to my website, thinkingoutsidethblog.com/marketing-tools, you've got at the moment 301 free marketing tools you can use to start and grow your business. And when I say free, it's free all the time. It's not free for 7 or 14 days. It's completely free. And I update this every 3 or 4 months. If you go to, I believe, content creation and design, and if you go to free images, you can see some of the other image sites that is here. So Unsplash is here, Pexels that I mentioned there. I haven't got Pixabay. I'll put Pixabay on the next update. But here are some of the other places you can use as well. Okay, so there you have it. That's pretty much how I go about getting pictures, whether I'm putting it on my website, whether I'm using it for pictures I want to do because I want to get people to buy a product that I'm selling, whether it's a PowerPoint presentation that you've seen in the first 5 episodes, or some of the episodes that I'll use that's not that I won't be necessarily sharing my screen, or if I'm recording it and you can see my face. If it's 9 times out of 10, it'll be on a PowerPoint and I'll be using pictures from there. So there you go, under 10 minutes. This is Andrew, Thinking Outside the Blog. Follow me on Twitter at Andrew_Davis. Go to my site. Obviously, you've got this particular article, but there's also other things on there as well that you might find useful. So until next time, I will see you later.